Hey everybody, this is Hale. Welcome to something new. This is World of Tanks. Been out for a while, and I've been watching primarily Sidestrafe's video from TGS, his videos on World of Tanks, and been enjoying them. And I always thought about getting into it, and then I was able to find that I could get the rights to put these on YouTube, so I thought I'd start making some videos of World of Tanks and see what people think. So I'll do a quick introduction before we jump into the action. If you're familiar with this game, then you may want to skip ahead, or you just may want to skip on this video entirely. It's up to you. But anyway, so the game is free to play. Unlike, I would say, Smite and now Tribes, it can be fairly expensive. You can buy premium, you should be able to see my mouse pointer, buy premium, which will increase your experience gain. You can actually buy gold, and I did buy some so I could unlock some stuff. And then your units gain experience through battles, and you can unlock your local experience to general experience to be used on other units to unlock technology for them, but that also costs gold. So there's a fair amount of nickel and diming in this game that you don't see in other things, other games, or at least I haven't. For example, let me go... here it is. I'm sorry. So let's go over here, and you see this is a German tank destroyer. I'll go through my stable, or garage, I guess is more accurate, of vehicles. But one of the things I have is a gun rammer, which decreases your load time. And it's fairly cheap to buy, but if you want to reuse it in something else on a different vehicle, then you have to pay 10 gold, which is a fairly trivial sum, but you have to pay that to unmount it, otherwise this is destroyed if you trade the vehicle in or you wish to free up this slot. So not everything is like that. For example, I could unmount this camouflage netting, but you can see these things with the golden nuts, I guess, all have that penalty. Also, there are premium tanks. These are the tanks right here with a gold background and the lines through here. You can't... Okay, game just crashed. Actually, if you watch Sidestrafe's videos, he says that the game crashes for him as well, particularly in the tech tree, which is kind of odd because there's really not too much going on, but he suspects there's something going on with the NVIDIA drivers, which I also have NVIDIA. For some reason it blows up on the tech tree. But anyway, as I was saying, there's certain tanks that you can't unlock just through experience, because most of these other tanks, like these tanks in green, I can unlock through experience. This one right here, which is actually a tank destroyer, I've unlocked, and I can buy one for 3,000 credits, which is not that much. As you can see, I have 366,000 right here, which for a lower-end player is a decent amount. But anyway, there's certain tanks in here that you can only purchase with gold, which you have to get by buying it. So anyway, while we're on the tech tree, there's tanks level 1 through 10. You start off with level 1 of each of the countries listed here. These are all World War II combatants, as you hopefully already know. Not all of them, obviously. I don't think Japan's here, and Italy's not here. But anyway, you know, there's a lot of them. And then each country has different tanks and different methods of progression. And you can see some have more than others. I think they added Chinese semi-recently. I don't know, but I think they did. So anyway, you start off with basically a Tier 1 tank. And you can see there's only one Tier 1 tank for each one, which is actually starts off with the British as a medium tank. That's kind of interesting. But most of them are light tanks. And then you can advance up. And I've been progressing. I started off with all of them, and I've been progressing up the American, the German, and the Russian or Soviet tank chains. I haven't really done much with the Chinese, the French, and the British. I know Sidestrafe does a lot of the British stuff, and he's up here with the Centurions right on this line right here. So I thought I'd do something else. Than what he has been doing. So anyway, that's the tech tree. So just to go back, for the Americans, I'm on the tier 3 light tank. And I've also got an artillery piece. That's not one thing I've never seen Side Strafe do. I'm sure there's other people that do it. Is show artillery, so I wanted to do some of that. For the Germans, I'm up to a tier 4 light tank and a tier 4 tank destroyer, the Hetzer. And actually, this is kind of interesting. And I just kind of pick stuff at random. But the tanks that I pick apparently were Czech tanks or Czechoslovakian tanks pre-World War II. And when the Germans took over Czechoslovakia, they basically inherited these, at least the first 2 tanks, maybe the third one, I'm not entirely sure. And made them their own, basically. So apparently Czechoslovakia pre-war had made their own tanks, which was something I didn't know. So you can get some history from here. So anyway, I got this tank destroyer and a tier 4 tank. I think this is the highest tank I've unlocked. For the Soviets, I'm up to a tier 3 light tank. And then my next ones will be either this light tank or a medium tank. I might go medium because light tanks get kind of repetitive after a while. Drive, get blown up, repeat. I've also got a premium tank. I just unlocked it for the heck of it, just to see. Tier 5 medium tank, and this is actually a British tank that was lend-leased to the Russians and then used by them. So this is tier 5. I think in the British chain, let's just go over here. I think it's actually tier 4. Yeah, here's the Matilda right here. So I don't know whether I made a bad choice or not. I've just been kind of unlocking stuff at random and kind of exploring it as I go. So let's actually look at my tanks. So the first one's the M3 Stuart. I have it equipped with a 20mm gun. I think that's the, whoops, let's close that. That's the lightest gun. So you can get 2 37mm. One's obviously better than the other. One has a faster rate of fire and more penetration. I got the 20mm one just because of rate of fire. If you get into light tank battles, everybody's kind of zipping around. And having a relatively slow firing weapon kind of puts you at a disadvantage. This is my American artillery piece. This is the starting artillery piece, so it's tier 2. I could upgrade to tier 3, and I'll probably do that at some point in time. This is a tier 4 German light tank. This also has a 20mm gun on it. It is a better gun than the American version, just to show you. You can see the penetration that it does is 30-41, accuracy of 5, aiming 1.7. Go back to the German, it's 39-51, accuracy of 0.45. I believe lower is better. And then the aiming time is 1.3. So it's a better gun even though it's the same caliber. This is the German tank destroyer, which apparently was of Czech design as well. So it's a light tier 4 tank destroyer. It has sloped armor on the front. I think the armor is, does it say? Not here. Oh, it says over here. So the armor is 60 and it slopes, giving you a theoretical value of 120. So it's decently tough, kind of fragile up from the sides and the rear, but most of the vehicles are. This is a Russian light tank, the T-46, and I have, unlike the German and the American tanks, I have a very heavy caliber gun on it. I think they would call this a derp gun because it has a relatively low rate of fire, relatively low penetration for its size. I think it's a low muzzle velocity just because of the size of the gun. I'm not an expert on that, but typically if you have like the really big guns that are short, they tend to be fairly low muzzle velocity. So relatively low penetration, relatively large aiming time, and iffy accuracy, I think. But it packs a wallop if you can actually hit people with it. The reason that I have this on this tank is this light tank is a little bit bigger, I think you can see, than comparing it to the German tank. It's bigger than the German tank. It's decently fast, but not as fast as the German tank. Now, granted, this is a tier 4 tank. But it's not as fast. Actually, the M3 Stuart, the way I have it configured, I think is a little faster than my Panzer. Panzer blah, 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 blah. I think it's a Panzer 38 is what typically it gets called. I think it's a little bit faster, but keeping in mind that this is one tier higher than both the American and the Russian tank. But you can see the Russian tank is much larger. It's not as fast as the other tanks, and in a fast tank battle, it puts you at a disadvantage. Also, what gun was I using? I think I was using the 37 millimeter gun right here, which does have a okay rate of fire, but the recoil on the gun was such that it would knock your aim off, and you'd hit once or you'd be on target once, and then the other shots would just go off, and it got old after a while. So I decided to put this big 76 millimeter gun on here, and rather I kind of get into position, hang back, and then try to blow people up while they're distracted with other people, whereas on the other tanks I could do more aggressive scouting and engage in close quarters battles, which usually ends up, it's fun while it lasts, let's put it that way. Now on this tank I do have camo netting. I don't on the other ones because it does have a weight. It's 100 pounds, which I honestly don't know if that is just chump change for tanks or not. I'm assuming it is. Also, I have a heavier turret on here. You can see that there's a... Yeah, so this other tank, this turret is 1,450 pounds, and then this one's 1,000 pounds. Whereas on here, I have the lighter of the two turrets. This one is 1,250 pounds, right? Kilograms, sorry. Kilograms, and this one's 1,700. So I actually have the lighter of the two turrets for both the American and the German tanks. Whereas on the Russian one, I have the heavier turret. Just because the heavier tank is, the slower it goes. So, this one is the premium tier 5 tank. This is the only medium tank I have right now. I'll probably be unlocking some when I reach the 5th tier, where they start to become more common. As a premium tank, it gets bonuses to credits and experience that it generates. Also, for some of your tanks, when you research everything, let me click on this one and research here. So this is everything that has to do with the tank, all the items and the successor models, if you would call them that. So, excuse me. So I have everything researched. I have the 2 successor models researched, and what this allows me to do is accelerate the crew training, which will increase the rate that these guys go up to 100%. You can start at 50%. Basically, you get 50% for free. You can pay credits to go up to 75%. And I think I did that with some of these. I think I did that with these 2 guys right here for the Hetzer. And then not with these guys, just for grins and chuckles. And I think there's a couple tanks. This one, I think I'd put everybody at 75. And this one, I think I put these 2 guys at 75 for some reason. And then everybody else is progressing up from 50. And once you research everything, that's actually the artillery piece. And then, so once you unlock everything, then you can do that. For example, for this one, let's take a look at the research for that. I haven't unlocked the successor M5 Stuart or the T-82 tank destroyer. Once I do that, then this could be considered an elite tank, and I could accelerate my crew experience. Now I have 3,469 experience. I need 4,000, or actually I need, let's say 4,000 to unlock this tank destroyer. I do have 3,937 free experience, but the free experience is right here, and to get that, you need to go in here and convert experience, and then they charge you gold for that. So you're basically taking experience that you get from your tank, your specific tank, which is specific to that tank, and making it general to your account. And then, as I said, they like to nickel and dime you for that. So it's not that bad. And I was actually doing that, and I didn't realize I was being charged for it. And I'm like, yeah, I had the little epiphany. So let's see. So this is the depot, my vehicles. So this is just stuff I bought and unmounted. You can buy stuff, again, for credits. And then if you unmount it, it stays in your inventory. I think you can sell it, too. Yeah, you can sell it if you want. So if you have low-tier stuff for tanks you're never going to use again, you can just sell it off. Let's see, what else? The store. These are stuff you can buy. I think it's easier to buy stuff through the tech tree because this is awfully complicated. Or it's just a big list, basically. It's not complicated. It's just hard to find. So I think it's much easier to buy stuff through the tech tree. I think you can buy other things here. Can you? Yeah, so you can get the infamous gold ammo. The regular ammo you can get for credits, and actually it'll supply your tank for that. Oh, and also you can get the gold ammo, I believe, through credits as well, maybe. Or no. This looks locked. Maybe you need to be a premium account. I don't know. And then there's this other stuff which I showed you. So the camo netting, and a lot of this, I think all this stuff you can buy with credits. Some of it's pretty cheap, like the camouflage netting is not bad. I have binocular telescopes on the Hetzer, and I do want to get it for the Russian light tank because I like to hang back with that. And then you can also get coated optics, which gives you a view range and stuff like that. And then, is there any gold nuts on here? I think there's, some of this stuff, I know this stuff you need to unmount separately, this nut, so they don't tell you here. And then consumables you buy, and they're one-time use. Like fire extinguisher, I know Side Strafe uses that, and first aid kits. But at the level I'm at, 3,000 credits is probably what I would make on an average battle. So using this would basically defeat any profit that I would realize. And then you see here, some of the things are purchased by gold. Do I have 5 of these in the depot? Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe I can sell them. I didn't know that. That's weird. Maybe they start you off with that. So you see these are purchased by gold. I think people buy these for competitive matches. I don't know why you'd buy them otherwise because it's one-time use. If you just kept it forever, then that would make sense, or make more sense. So service record, here's what I've been fighting. You can see these are the tier 1s that I started out. This is the LOL tractor, as people call it, which actually is kind of neat. I didn't care for the British one. I actually played it 2 times and won both of them, which is kind of funny. And then they give you ranks for this is the American tier 1. And another crash. Where was I? Anyway, so I think I was going over this thing. So these are how your ranks and like all the medals you got. And it varies by tank, as you can see. So, how many detecting tanks and self-propelled guns. So as a light tank, you would get that kind of stuff. And then the tech tree, which I already showed you, which is where you can research up your next tank. And you can drill into, so for example, if I wanted to drill into the Stuart, this is what I would see. And I can change what is mounted on my vehicle. So for example, let's go back to actually another one. Let's go to the Russian one. So let's go to my T46. So everything's researched. I have this turret and this turret. If I wanted to, I could put this turret back on, but then I'd have to switch with this gun because I believe this turret is required for all these guns. For the American one, I have this turret on, and then if I can use this gun or this gun with this turret. If I wanted to use this gun right here, then I would need to upgrade to this turret. And I have them both researched. I don't think I have them purchased, otherwise it wouldn't give me a cost. Like, for example, I have these radios purchased, these engines purchased. Also, every starting engine that you get with your tank is just abysmal. It's painful to drive. So the first thing you want to do, I think, is upgrade your engine and probably your suspension. I guess that's what they would call it, your track suspension, I guess. So anyway, I think that is it. Let's go back. And then these are the people that are currently not driving tanks, I think. Extra people for tanks I've dismissed. So I think I got rid of everybody that was like French or Chinese just so they wouldn't take up barrack space. Because as you can see, I only have 3 people right here. Or 3 extra barrack spaces. So these are people not driving things. And then here's everybody that is driving something. Then, as you said, I have 3 extra spaces. And again, you can enlarge your barracks for, again, more gold. So I think that is pretty much it. So anyway, I'm going to play some games. I'll pick and choose so that the games are halfway decent and kind of show it. And then in future episodes, I plan to just kind of jump right in and off we go. Okay, everybody, this is the airfield map. And as you can see, I'm here in the M3 Stuart. The tiers on this are tier 4 and tier 3. Sometimes you get a spread of 3 or 4. Sometimes it's just 1. So as a light tank, I'm going to be heading up to the airfield. We're starting off by the green flag. You can kind of see my little arrow down on the lower right-hand corner. I'm in G1, Gulf 1. So we're started at the green flag. The bad guys start at the red flag. Kind of similar to Smike. Our top is through though. So people are annoyed about what tanks we have. So I'm going to go up, I think with a light tank, in a lot of situations, you want to swing out as far as possible because I'm just looking at the chat here. It's similar to Smite as far as the general confusion, I think. Because you can get there quicker and then kind of set up and give your team an advantage. So I'm going to stop right here in these palm trees and see what happens. So I'm going to slide in the bushes, which will give me a little bit of camouflage, and I'll just kind of hang out. And I'll kind of see what everybody else is doing. So there's a tank destroyer up here. It looks like they're coming in behind me. And here's a tank. And I'm going to not get a shot on there. By the time I might be able to get a shot. No. Alright, so someone's shooting at me. I'm going to back up behind these rocks. Yeah. So I turn backwards. So yeah, I'm going to back up behind these rocks right here. So there's a tank, or did he go down there? I was trying to get a shot on him. As you can see, the little circle that follows my reticle, that's where the turret's actually pointing. So even though I was pointing at the tank, I might wait for my turret to catch up. And by the time it was there, the bad guy was in cover. If he comes around these rocks again, though, I could probably nail him. Doesn't look like it. So there's a couple, I see on the mini-map, there's a couple guys down there, which the rocks are hopefully shielding me from. Oh, good. He's dead. And we do have arty. There are, I think, 2 pieces of artillery per team. One of ours is dead, which is not unusual. And there's 2 guys down there, a tank destroyer and a light tank, probably looking at me. I'm going to wait for other people to move up. Since I've already taken a hit. No significant damage, but you can see I'm down a little bit. Somebody's moving. Oh, I can see the tank destroyer. And I think that was a lot of missing right there. So it looks like that light tank has moved up to where the other guy was, and now he's dead. I think that was our artillery at work. Alright, can we get another shot at the tank? There's a light tank down there. I'll do a little distracting while that other guy is... That other guy moved up while I was shooting at him, so I was just kind of trying to keep him distracted and focused on me while the other guy snuck up. I saw there was another light tank, or the medium tank actually, ouch, down there that got blown up while we were fighting. So, as I said, I'm going to let some other people push up, so I am not the first target people see. In fact, I'm going to follow this guy. So, the tank destroyer is dead. There's another one behind it. I'm going to go all the way up here and see if that tank destroyer got killed.
Enemy is hit.
That's a Hetzer right there.
Penetration.
Its frontal armor would be a little tough for me to take on. So I'm just, in fact, I'm going to clear my... This tank shoots 5 groups of rounds, and I had 1 group left, so I just fired it off so it'll reload. So I'm just kind of shooting at it just to shoot at it. I see that square right there, that's artillery. I could probably hit him. I just barely see him.
That one didn't go through.
As you can see, I'm just bouncing off his frontal armor. Now, sometimes when you get bounces and stuff... Okay, that Hetzer's dead. So, I'm going to move up. I think we have a decent advantage. See if I can get behind that artillery right there. Can I get a view on him while I'm driving? No, but it looks like somebody else is up there. Yeah, that tank destroyer got him. So I'm going to go all the way around here, hopefully sneak up on somebody. Although everybody else is going all the way around here too, so maybe not. And there's nobody at our base. What happens frequently is we end up at their base and they end up at our base. There's an artillery piece in the middle. He's in a bad position. Alright, so I'm in their capture zone right now. This circle with the red flag, that's them. Can I can't see that. These buildings are destructible. They're just made out of mud, I think. Adobe, perhaps, if they were American. Midwest. So I can just drive right through them. Some of the buildings are destructible and some that are more substantial, whoops, are not. So for example, like these would take, if you used them for cover, they would take one hit for you, and then that's pretty much it. Here's somebody. Can I see him? I can just barely see him. Now he's gone. He comes over here, so I could knock some of this stuff down. Alright, so that is a win by capture. I did not die, which is good. The life of a light tank is short and interesting, I would say. And I really didn't do that much this battle. I got credit for... Well, these are the tanks I engaged. No significant damage. I got credit for spotting someone that somebody else damaged. And then, so here's what I got without premium. With premium, you can see that's what we would have received. These are credits that go into your general account and experience that the tank gets. And each victory, first victory, you get a doubling of that. So not too bad. And then, if I go into research, is there anything I can unlock? No, I'm just short 3,845 of 4,000. So probably after the next battle, I will be able to unlock the T-82, and then I would need to unlock the M5 Stuart to make this a quote-unquote elite tank. Also one thing I didn't touch on, which, because I haven't done it yet, is when these guys reach 100, I think you can start researching perks like Sixth Sense and stuff like that that you see on side strafes tanks. So that is pretty handy. So some of the people I'm going up against has that, which puts me at a disadvantage. But it is what it is. So thank you very much. Let's do another one. Hey everybody, this is the Westfield map. We are here in our Matilda medium tank, which is the premium tank that I have. It's the Russian variant of a British tank, Lend-Lease tank. I actually didn't know that the British did Lend-Lease to the Russians. I know, being in the United States, that the United States does, since it's covered in our history books, but I didn't realize the British did that as well, although it makes sense. So, this is probably not the fastest tank on the map. You know, if I was going to name a tank Matilda, I would expect it not to be very fast, and it lives up to its name. So, I'm going to... What am I going to do? I'm going to stay in the valley, I think, because going up these hills would just be too painful for me. So, I'm just going to stay in this valley and cruise along. So, you can see how wonderfully not fast it is. I'm just going to follow these guys. There's a medium tank and a light tank in front of me. That guy's through the hills, so you can see all those guys are up there. So we may need to be worried about that, but we'll worry about that later. Oh, going up this little hill is so painful. Ugh. Get out and push. Anybody can give me a push? We lost 2 tanks so far. I really didn't want to go up hills. Alright, there's somebody over there. Can I see them? I can. That guy's moving pretty fast. Somebody hit him. I don't think it was me, though. Alright, there's a medium tank. I just lost vision on him. These guys are, I cannot see. So I'm just gonna, let me creep into this bush just for some extra camo. Flush. Alright, this light tank is not moving.
Looks like
And I can
Dublin
hit him.
went right through. Enemy armor
So that's the
damaged.
trouble with a light tank. You know, you're out fighting another light tank, and then you get picked on by a heavier tank, and then you're dead. So that's basically the life of a light tank in a nutshell. What's that guy doing? There's like a guy right behind us. He's killing our artillery. Well, I'm not going to catch him. Somebody else can catch him. So I'm just going to stay here because I know there'll be some other people coming by. And maybe I can get some flank shots if they go on this road down here. Like that guy, if... Oh, that guy's dead. I was going to say if he backs up a little bit. I got support over there. So if this guy moves up a little bit, I should be able to get some nice shots on him. I'm up higher, so I'd be shooting down at him. Maybe hit his top armor and stuff like that. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't have all the weak spots memorized and stuff like that a true aficionado of this game would have. So I'm just kind of waiting for this guy to move out. I'm assuming he's going to push forward. Unless he pops up here. There's a light tank up in front of me, way up ahead, so he doesn't see anybody. I'm going to ping the map right here. Because he's got, that guy back there is looking for artillery. I'm just so slow. Chasing him would be not effective. I wouldn't move up if I was this guy. Because they have 2 tanks on us. And I'd take a defensive position. There's that guy right there. I'm going to move. See, I'm going to move up because this guy's moving up. I'm going to get suckered in. Yeah, we're going to need to fall back. This is not going to be a win for the good guys. However, since this guy seems to be alone, I'm going to see if I can get him. I see something.
He's gone.
All
Find
right.
another target.
Got him. So let's fall back. There's a medium tank up there. Let's not crash into the bridge. So we're capping the enemy base. And they're capping our base. So it's basically going to be a race. There's a light tank there. I just tracked him.
Enemy is hit.
I just bounced one.
Enemy is hit.
Alright, I'm going to move closer.
We didn't even scratch them.
This guy has good armor for a light little
They're
tank.
hit. One of our tracks is damaged.
I'm taking fire
Enemy
from
is hit.
something.
We've lost some ammo, but at least it didn't explode. Penetration. They're not
There we
down.
go. Good armor for that little tank. There's a heavy tank right here. And who won? Did we lose? Oh, we lost. That shows you my situational awareness. I did kill 3 tanks? No, 2 tanks. I killed 2 tanks. Engaged this tank with really no damage and helped damage this other tank. So you can see the damage I did was actually fairly significant to this tank that somebody else got. And I kind of sniped this. This indicates I did some critical damage like track damage or engine damage to the tank. So that was a pretty decent game, I think.